U.S. sanctioning 6 more Venezuelan vessels, and the White House now says this dramatic mission, fast roping onto oil tankers, guns drawn, and taking it over, could be the first of many.
And we're not going to stand by and watch sanctioned vessels sail the seas with black market oil, the proceeds of which will fuel narco-terrorism of rogue and illegitimate regimes around the world.
News Nation's Robert Sherman has the very latest from Puerto Rico. So, Robert, is it safe to say military in the Caribbean far from dying down, especially at this hour?
Oh, yeah, far from it. I mean, even into the late night hours while we were out here at Roosevelt Road, you could see all these jets taking off into the Caribbean night. So it is still very much so an active environment. We are living in the present. And all of this tension that we've been talking about here certainly got cranked up a notch after you saw this ship that was taken into American custody off of the coast of Venezuela with the work of law enforcement and U.S. troops in order to seize that ship and also seize the cargo on board. The United States emphasizing they're taking it into custody, $60 to $100 million worth of oil. We know that all the crew members aboard that ship are being investigated as well, according to officials. This is an incident that has drawn attention and from some outrage in the international community. And look at who was on the phone here this week. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The Kremlin saying that Russia is fully behind the Venezuelan leader, with President Maduro telling supporters that Russia even told him personally they have his back.
Por el ejemplo de la valentía.
Among many things, we spoke at length, and he said, I want to express my admiration for the example of courage shown by the people of Venezuela in the circumstances they have had to face, and I want you to know that we give unwavering support to the Venezuelan process, to President Maduro, and to your efforts to defend your national sovereignty and the peace of the entire South American region.
Here's the context to all of this. Oil is big business for Venezuela. It's key to their economy. The majority of their oil ultimately ends up going to China. So you see how the geopolitical strings weave together here. President Trump has issued some stern warnings to Venezuela, saying he wants President Nicolas Maduro out of office, whereas the Venezuelan leader has said he does not want war, but using his words, he's prepared to, quote, break the teeth of the United States. Kelly?
All right, Robert, thank you. Retired U.S. Marine Corps Colonel Mark Cancian, Senior Advisor for the Defense and Security Department at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He joins us this morning, and I appreciate your time, sir. So we'll pick up where Robert left off just a few minutes ago. The U.S. slapping new sanctions now on members of the Maduro family, also on 6 more oil tankers. The U.S. also reportedly preparing to seize more ships. So how much do these moves raise the stakes? Now you've got the fact that this oil was bound for Iran, Russia demanding an explanation in all of this at the same time.
Well, we can start with Russia. We heard the statement about the conversation between Maduro and Putin. You might notice that although Putin was very supportive, he didn't say he would actually do anything. And the problem is for Russia is that Venezuela is far away and they are fully engaged in a war with Ukraine. In terms of additional seizures, that's major change because Venezuela, as we heard, depends on oil for sustaining its economy. And if the United States shuts that down or cuts back on it significantly, the Venezuelans will not be able to hold out very long. That's a significant change. It's worth noting, too, that Russia has hundreds of these ghost tankers around the world. And if the United States starts seizing Venezuela's, other people might start seizing Russia's.
Well, and that's the big question. I want to get to the broader questions, but at the same time, too, you know, this is our military, a sovereign nation. They're in very close proximity to the U.S. You have a lot of Americans concerned about this activity. When the president campaigned on ending international conflicts, and he has, to his credit. So the press secretary is saying he's not interested in a prolonged conflict here. How concerning is this for Americans in the homeland?
Well, this is worth watching closely because the president seems committed to replacing the Maduro regime. He has said that Maduro's days are numbered. On the other hand, as you note, there's this tension with a long-standing administration desire to avoid foreign entanglements. The problem for the president is that Maduro doesn't seem to be intimidated by these actions. He's quite adamant that he's staying in power, although there are apparently talks going on behind the scenes. So if Maduro hangs in there, President Trump may have to escalate further unless he wants to back down, and then that would be very embarrassing politically.
I guess we had on last hour said Maduro isn't budging, and this is going to take some kinetic energy, as he put it, kinetic activity. What do you believe will move the dial in this situation and perhaps prompt a regime change? What will be the level of force necessary from the U.S.'s side?
I think the administration will continue to seize tankers. And as the flow of oil decreases and Venezuela's economy gets even further degraded, that may put enough pressure on Maduro to make a deal. But that's clearly the way the administration intends to go forward.
All right. Colonel Mark Cancian, thank you very much, sir. Quite a dynamic situation at hand. General, it is always a pleasure to have you. So a lot to unpack here. You have the U.S. slapping new sanctions on members of Maduro's family and also on 6 more oil tankers. The U.S. also reportedly preparing to seize more ships. So how much do these moves raise the stakes, especially given that this oil was bound for Iran? Now Russia is demanding an explanation.
Kelly, it is the case that this is actually the thing that provides us actual leverage against Venezuela and the Maduro regime. Not taking out drug boats in the Caribbean or the Eastern Pacific, but Venezuela makes 70 to 90% of their federal revenue from exporting oil. That means that now that we're taking these steps, it's actually going to have a real effect on Venezuela, Maduro, and his inner circle, and I think it's been long overdue.
Well, and this is obviously a calculated, specific intention here on the U.S.'s side. The Department of War began with strikes, alleging they were targeting narco-terrorists. But now seizing this oil tanker, we appear to be in different territory. The stated intent initially was stopping the flow of drugs. But with all this recent activity, General, now so many are saying this is a clear effort at regime change. So do you agree? And that can be a dicey proposition all at the same time, history has shown. So how does the U.S. stand to benefit?
Kelly, it's been a bit of a challenge for the American people to understand for the last 3 months what we're actually doing in the Caribbean. 76% of Americans are begging the administration to help us understand what we are doing and why. And I actually think Nobel Peace Prize winning Machado has been describing it better. She says for 2 reasons Americans should care. Number one, that Venezuela is at the nexus of all of the major problems in the Western Hemisphere. And number 2, Venezuela provides safe haven to the enemies of the United States in our own backyard. She is describing in a lot clearer of a way why we should care than the administration is. And I think it's time for the administration to be a little bit more specific about why this matters to the American public and what we intend to do about it so that we can contextualize all of the activity that we've seen in the last 3 months.
Yeah, well, this is obviously, you know, a sovereign nation, close proximity. You had the president campaigning on the fact that he was going to be ending conflicts all around the world, and he has been. But, you know, this appears to be increasing now nationalism on Venezuela's side. So how concerned should Americans be? This is, again, very close proximity to the U.S.
Kelly, the biggest challenge here is that Maduro and his inner circle believe that the president of the United States is simply bluffing about kinetic military activity against Venezuela. That means that he's not budging. And then you look at the credibility of President Trump, that though the Ford Carrier Strike Group has been there for nearly a month and hasn't done anything actively, that's an indication that Trump would rather not take this kinetic. But because Maduro is not going anywhere and doesn't believe our threats are real, the president of the United States may feel compelled to use that kinetic activity in a way that he would have otherwise preferred not to, hoping that the threats would have worked by themselves.
Well, and that was going to be my next question. You know, what is the threshold there? When does Maduro say, okay, possibly I'm leaving the country? I know he outlined some terms, told the president what he wanted. It's really about essentially walking away unscathed, having that cover if he does in fact leave Venezuela, and President Trump seems unwilling to give it. So how do you see this ending?
Kelly, we do seem to be in a bit of a standoff, and the problem for Maduro is the most dangerous job on the planet is being an ex-dictator, because you have so many enemies and no longer have the protection of your inner circle. But because Maduro believes that Trump is bluffing, that until the United States takes kinetic activity, I don't believe that he's going to budge, which means that at some point, probably in the near future, we should start to expect the United States taking active military activity and action against Venezuela and Maduro.
And then that opens up a whole other can of questions there. Brigadier General John Teichert, I wish we had more time. Thank you, sir. It's always great to have you. We have these new sanctions on members of the Maduro family, also on 6 more oil tankers. The U.S. reportedly preparing to seize more ships. How much do these moves raise the stakes in your eyes?
Well, I think they raised the stakes, but my head is spinning about yet another different tactic. I thought we were bombing boats in the high seas. I guess the legal issues that are now mounting up has dissuaded Trump from doing more of that. So now we're doing something that will hit Venezuela's economy. I get it, but I thought Trump was not for regime change. Who is for an oil trade that funds narco-terrorism? But I thought we were against fentanyl imports into the U.S., and they go through Mexico. They don't go this way. I also thought we liked Vladimir Putin, who allegedly has helped draft a peace plan, so-called peace plan, where he wins and Ukraine loses. And so none of this conversation about oil, a lot of which could enrich Russia, are we hearing? So what is the strategy here? And isn't this yet another diversion from the fact that Republican members of Congress are moving away from Donald Trump because he is not talking about the issues that affect their constituents, and they're now polling for their reelection in 2026, and the poll numbers look dismal.
Well, let's dive into the intention here based on what we know, based on what we're seeing playing out, because you are not the only one with these questions, as you well know. You know, this is obviously, or it feels like at least, a very calculated, specific operation. The Department of War began with these strikes, alleging they were targeting narco-terrorists, as you said, but now this is all shifted to seizing an oil tanker with plans to take more. So the stated intent to start was stopping the flow of drugs. With this recent activity, many are saying this is a clear effort at regime change. Do you agree?
Well, it looks like it and smells like it. No one has said that. But even Laura Loomer doesn't get what we're doing there. She's talking about fentanyl imports into the U.S., which should be stopped any way we can. And by the way, a lot of the precursors come from China. That's someplace we should be focusing. We have a off-again, on-again friendship with China. I'm for a multi-layered approach to China, but we're not seeming to stop fentanyl imports. And that was the first justification for all this action. So, yeah, I mean, Maduro is someone Trump seriously dislikes. And the first excuse was the drugs. And then he pardoned the convicted former president of the neighboring country, who was much bigger drug dealer than any of the drugs we're picking up in the high seas. So Yeah, I'd say it's sort of smelling like regime change. But he's against that. He gave a big speech about sovereignty and said nations should make their own decisions. And so far as I know, I'm not sure why only Venezuela, even headed by a terrible guy, is the top target.
Well, and there are a lot of questions about what would regime change mean for us here in the U.S. So there are so many factors to consider. I wish we had more time. Former Congresswoman Jane Harman, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
News Nation invites you to the fastest growing tourist destination in the world, Qatar. Join us on the adventure of a lifetime. Destination Qatar, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on News Nation.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He is speaking live, checking in for his ICE appointment. And this was a press conference that was scheduled for this morning. Let's dip in to the comments.
Rodríguez, y soy la directora de Organizar y Liderazgo con Casa. I want to start off by congratulating you, courageous freedom fighters. We are out here on this cold Friday morning once again, in front of the Baltimore field office. Estamos de nuevo aquí, enfrente a la oficina de ICE en Baltimore, y quiero comenzar felicitándolos a todos ustedes, los que están con nosotros esta mañana pasando frío, y todas las personas que están en casa viendo esta lucha en sintonía. Those of you who are also at home watching this fight, I also want to congratulate you for the continued effort to ensure that freedom and justice persevere, para asegurarnos que la lucha, la libertad y el amor sean los que ganen. Estamos aquí con el hermano Kilmar. Se va a chequear el día de hoy con ICE. We are here with Brother Kilmar once again. This morning, he is going to be checking in with ICE. Kilmar has become a symbol of inspiration, strength, love, and perseverance. Kilmar se ha convertido en un símbolo para todos nosotros de amor, perseverancia, lucha y poder. Te damos las gracias, Kilmar, por todo tu esfuerzo, toda tu inspiración y toda tu lucha para todos nosotros. We want to say thank you to Kilmar for all of his fight, his continued struggle, and sharing his story with all of us. Sabemos que esta administración continúa su ataque de odio contra nuestras familias inmigrantes y nuestras familias trabajadoras. Y continúan a oprimir todos los que siguen luchando por su derecho constitucional. Su día en corte, como lo ha hecho Kilmar. We know that this administration continues to oppress our working class and immigrant families, and they have time and time again continued to retaliate against people who stand up and demand their constitutional right, their due process, as Kilmar has. Les quiero decir, hermanos y hermanas, que no nos vamos a rendir. I want to say that we will not give up. Will we give up? No. Will we give up? No. Este odio, esta administración no va a ganar. This hate, this administration will not win. Love will win. El amor va a ganar. El día de ayer, la jueza del distrito dijo que ICE y esta administración no podían continuar a encarcelar a Kilmar. Gracias a esa jueza que tuvo el coraje de escribir lo que escribió, está Kilmar aquí hoy, un hombre libre. Thank you to the U.S. District Judge, her courageous judgment ruling that ICE and this administration can no longer detain Kilmar is the reason why he is standing free here today, and he was able to reunite with his family yesterday. ¿Se pudo? ¡Sí se pudo! 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 Y se va a continuar a poder, familia. And this fight will continue to be the people's fight. This victory is a community victory. This fight is a community fight. When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! I stand before you as a free man, and I want you to remember me this way, with my head held up high.
Hoy regreso con mucha gratitud y esperanza, con amor, que voy a entrar aquí y todo va a estar bien, confiando siempre en Dios, porque es el único que ha estado conmigo desde el día 1, incluyendo a mi familia.
I come here today with so much hope, and I thank God who has been with me since the start with my family.
Mi familia luchadora, incluyendo a mi pareja de vida, mi esposa Jennifer, que ella ha estado desde el día 1 y siempre ha estado aquí. Aunque no esté presente, ella yo la llevo en mi corazón y en mi alma.
I thank God for all of the freedom fighters he has put in my life, including my life partner and wife, Jennifer. Even though she is not here today, I know she is with me in spirit.
También a mi hermano César, a mi madre Cecilia, a mis hijos, a mis sobrinos y a toda mi familia.
I also give gratitude for my brother Cesar, my family, my mother Cecilia.
Estoy agradecido con toda la gente que me ha apoyado desde el día 1, que ha apoyado incluso a mi familia, mucha gente que Dios me la ha puesto en mi camino.
I am grateful and give gratitude to all of the people that have been fighting with me since day 1, who God has put in my life and my family's life.
Incluyendo a mi equipo legal, a mi sindicato ESMAR, todo grupo de casa.
This includes my entire legal team, my union, SMART, everyone at CASA.
todos los pastores, todas las pastoras, todas las iglesias, toda la gente que está orando por mí, por mi familia. Estoy completamente agradecido con ellos. Las oraciones tienen poder y Dios escucha.
To all of the faith leaders, to all of the churches, to everyone at home who continues to pray for me, I want you to know that prayer is powerful, and I am grateful for all of your prayers.
Ayer que fui liberado, lo primero que hice y lo único que hice es disfrutar a mi familia por estos tiempos que estamos viviendo, tiempos de Navidad, que la armonía, el amor, la paz, es amor estar en familia, y eso es lo que yo hice, estar con mi familia, que son todo para mí.
Yesterday, I spent time and celebrated and enjoyed my family, who is everything for me, especially so close to Christmas and being in this holiday season.
Y ahora estoy aquí de pie frente a ustedes, y la lucha seguirá. Yo seguiré de pie, no le bajaré la cabeza a nadie, siempre estaré de pie sobre todas las injusticias que ha hecho este gobierno.
I stand here today with my head held up high, and I will continue to fight and stand firm against all of the injustices this government has done upon me.
Quiero también pedirle a esa gente que está pasando por situaciones que yo estoy pasando, mucha injusticia, detenidos, a esa gente que está detenida, a sus familiares, les pido que tengan fe, que es un proceso de Dios, cosas buenas vendrán a nuestras vidas.
I want to tell everybody who is also suffering family separation, God is with you. This is a process. Keep fighting.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
The White House says it is tired of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, and President Trump wants action. So Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sent his proposed plan to the U.S. as his team wrestles with terms on security guarantees and giving up land to Russia. He's set to meet with European leaders tomorrow. President Trump says his team could fly out to Europe as long as there is a, quote, good chance of progress on a deal coming soon.
And we'll be attending the meeting on Saturday in Europe if we think there's a good chance. And we don't want to waste a lot of time. We think it's negative. We want it to get settled.
And President Zelensky suggests the U.S. wants an agreement in place by Christmas. Well, the bad blood between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mike Johnson, this is heating up, with sources on Capitol Hill telling News Nation the Georgia Congresswoman is trying to oust Johnson as House Speaker. Sources say Greene has been gauging interest on a vote to vacate the speakership. And this morning, we are expecting to hear from Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He has been released from ICE custody again. Abrego Garcia was deported in March and sent to a notorious prison in his native El Salvador. This despite a...
Live from Ozarks First Plus, a rapid rundown of the local headlines, stories shared, viral videos, plus the features and facts before they hit your feed. You're watching The Daily Scroll with me, Bailey Stroll.
Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to The Daily Scroll. We've got a full lineup of some interesting stories to talk about today. We'll talk about a shipwreck that major discovery. It's like a amazing treasure hunt. I feel like I'm picturing like Indiana Jones, whatever, and we'll tell you how much it's worth, what they found under the deep blue sea. And then there's a new study out there that will tell you about where people are trying to get away from spending so much money when they go out to eat because, you know, prices are rising. And I think it's pretty funny and pretty interesting. So we'll dive deep into that. And that's what we got cooking up for you today. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, let's talk coffee. Jay, I know you don't drink coffee, but this is pretty cool.
That happy little cup over there.
And so this is the Ozarks Coffee Trail 5th year, kicking off on October 1st. So we're a few days into it. We're already behind. But that little guy, his name is Cuppy, I've been told, from Visit Springfield, and he's a new addition this year. They've got a new logo. They've got new branding.
So glad that made the press release.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so this is a trail that just gets people out and about. And it's kind of like a challenge. Make sure you get all your stops. For every stop,
Bailey, we could get shirts.
Yeah, you get a shirt. So you can sign up for free, and then it's a mobile pass thing. There are 40 participating shops across the area, not just in Springfield. They're down in Ozark too. If you keep scrolling, there is a map of all of them. But 40 participating coffee shops. And then if every one you go to, you get 10 points. If you get 250 points, you can get a t-shirt and stickers and maybe like a cup and stuff like that.
25 coffee shops?
Yeah, I was trying to do the math on that. Move the decimal point or drop the zero, Bailey.
Yeah,
Come on. And I'm like racking my brain over like, okay, so how many? So you have to go to a little more than half of them.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
And they will also give you a crew neck sweatshirt, but there's only 100 of those. So you have to be one of the first 100 to get 250 points. I would want to know, how fast could you do this?
You want to speed run coffee trail?
I mean, and if you're hyped up on coffee, you could just get there fast, I guess. But yeah, so last year I was kind of surprised to hear this. Almost 4,000 people did this trail, or they signed up for it.
Are you suggesting that after coffee you can like run like Scooby-Doo and your legs just become a
That's how I feel.
Windmill and you can just run?
That's how I feel on caffeine. I know for some people it actually makes them sleepy.
Like Roadrunner looking. Okay.
And then the main thing that I think is cool about this year, then this is new.
Yeah.
Is when you go to these places, they kind of have like a secret menu item or like an exclusive menu item. So you can't get it unless you're a part of the trail. So say you go to that Trailer Perk coffee there with the flamingo. That one's by my house, kind of.
Trailer Perk.
I like that place. And you say, oh, I'm on the Ozarks Coffee Trail. Well, then you can try a drink that nobody else, that's not on the menu, that nobody else can.
What do you wanting to try? What do you hope they have?
I like a little toasted marshmallow.
I thought you just liked milk in it.
I do, but I'll broaden my horizons for a little coffee trail.
That's fair.
I haven't signed up for this yet. Maybe I will, but I like the thought of this.
Get your little cuppy part.
I didn't realize that this has been going on for 5 years now.
Wow.
but it did need a little bit, I think, of a revamp. And I like this. I like Mr. Cuppy up there. I like the thought of this. And I had actually had a thought when I was a few years ago, like in the summertime, I was thinking like, what would be fun to do in the summertime is like go to every coffee shop in Springfield or like try to hit a new coffee shop every weekend that I hadn't been to. And then like the next year they came out with this. I'm like, you guys reached into my brain and took my idea, but I like it. It's cool. I know you won't do it, Jay.
I didn't say that. I want a T-shirt.
That's
for
true.
a thing I'm not going to drink.
You'll do anything for some merch.
Wow.
So yeah, Ozarks Coffee Trail kicked off on October 1st. I'm not sure when it runs through, but you can sign up at springfieldmo.org/coffee. Go check it out.
It says 2025, 2026.
Yeah, it might last all through the spring.
Oh, that's
But
much
if you
more
want to get your
doable.
crew neck sweatshirt, you got to be one of the first 100 people to get to 200 points, 250 points. Sorry.
I'll be honest, I do think that speed running, it sounds like the funniest way to do it. I don't think it's the intention.
I mean,
but
you could really hit up 25 in a weekend, I think.
That's what I'm
Between
thinking.
Saturday
I
and
think
Sunday,
you
you
just-
just go from one to the next, to
You
the
just
next, to
book
the
it.
next.
If you build a trail on Google Maps and everything, yeah.
You can plan it
That sounds
out.
fun.
Yeah, like Google Maps tell you like the fastest route. It would
Yeah.
actually be like a little scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
And then you would definitely secure the crew neck sweatshirt. I want to see like Ask Visit Springfield if they've had like how quickly has somebody been able to accomplish this.
I do feel like they want you, and I would want to support the local businesses, but I also want to book it through as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. But I want to
like-
know, like, so is at every location a different menu item? Is
yeah,
it something
is
that they've came up with, or are you going to get the same thing? I'm guessing it's different everywhere, but
Item.
I
don't
kind of like the thought of that, like something on the menu that you can't normally get.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Okay, and then next up, a 1715 shipwreck that was found underwater. They pulled up some silver and gold coins, and they now know that this little hunk of junk here, not a hunk of junk, I love it, is worth $1 million. I'm wondering if the people that spent all this time and money doing this are like, oh my gosh, $1 million, or they're like, we spent $1 million trying to get this thing up. You know?
You said earlier, you said Indiana Jones. This is pirate stuff.
Yes, pirate. I'm sorry. I was just, I mean.
Not necessarily Pirates of the Caribbean, but like that's piratey stuff.
That's pretty cool. That guy's smile says it all. I would love to be a part of something like this. So this was a specific recovery team called the Queen's Jewels LLC. It's a historic shipwreck salvage operation happening in Vero Beach, Florida. They pulled up more than 1,000 silver coins, known as reales, from that shipwreck, and some other rare gold artifacts. This was over the summer. So historians estimate that as much as 400 million, actually. Wait, where are they getting this $1 million? Oh, wait, am I reading this wrong?
I don't know.
No, it says $400 million worth of gold, silver, and jewels were lost in the storm. Oh, in the storm that took this down. I'm sorry, let me finish the sentence, silly Bailey. Making it one of the greatest maritime tragedies and treasures of the Americas.
Update, it actually does look a lot like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my
like
goodness.
gold coins. It's the whole crux of that first movie.
That is really cool.
Anyway, so I maybe wouldn't have grabbed one of those. It might curse you forever and cause you to live undead for the rest of time. But,
is that the plot?
You never saw
I did, but I watched it in theaters. I think I might have fallen asleep.
First one's really good.
Maybe I saw the second one in theaters. That's why I'm so confused.
Okay, maybe that's it. Yeah, totally different.
It lies in the stretch of ocean that's often referred to as Florida's Treasure Coast, where modern salvage operations are pretty much working all the time to find stuff like this. So props to them. They're going to, these coins were actually minted in the Spanish colonies of Mexico, Peru, and Bolivia. They still have visible dates on them, mint marks on them, and that's important to both historians and collectors. And I guess this ship broke and spilled apart, and all of that during a hurricane. And it was just one whole shipment that came apart. So now they're going to undergo careful conservation before being displayed to the public. And they're going to go on to local museums and stuff so you can learn firsthand about the Florida's maritime past. I really like that. I don't know if I would rather be part of like the finding mission or like the what happens next of like cataloging and like cleaning them up and looking at them all. It's really cool.
That's cool. I don't know if I would be as excited if the treasure wasn't like hidden behind a bunch of clues and stuff like National Treasure. I think that's my ideal treasure.
Yeah. Like you have to, like a Da Vinci Code type of thing.
Yeah, you have to figure out this, which gets you to that, which gets you to that. And it's like this whole story.
There is a new like Da Vinci Code show that I just saw. I think it's on Paramount Plus or
with Tom
Peacock.
Hanks?
I'm not sure. It's not Tom Hanks, but the guy has the same name, like Robert Langdon.
Is it based on like some of those books?
Yes, I think
books?
it is.
Okay.
And
That's fun.
which my husband goes, he doesn't even look anything like that guy when we're watching it. Yeah. My husband's notorious for not knowing any celebrity ever. And I go,
wow.
Tom Hanks from the original? Because this guy, he looks very much like a younger Tom Hanks.
What's it called?
Oh, now you lost me. Just type in the new Da Vinci Code show, new Da Vinci Code series.
Is it The Lost Symbol?
Yes.
Okay.
It is good. You would like it if you like those type of things. Because it reminds me a lot of National Treasure. It's like National Treasure and the Da Vinci Code mixed. And it really, because it's in the capital city. Capital city.
I don't know
it's
how
in
many
Washington,
people,
D.C.
I don't know how many people know this, but they made a National Treasure show.
Oh, I started watching that.
It was not good.
No, I couldn't. You asked me the other day, what's a show or movie that you couldn't get through? That's I started. I couldn't.
I did get through it, and it has some redeeming factors, but it's not as good as it was. So maybe this is better. It's like
pretty
the
good.
Da Vinci Code enough.
It is pretty good, and I do like the Da Vinci Code. So my husband says he doesn't look like.
Which one? The guy in the middle?
Yeah, like he doesn't look like the original guy at all. And I'm like Tom Hanks? I'm like, he could pass for like a younger Tom Hanks, you know? Maybe. And he goes, he's like, Tom Hanks, why are you saying Tom Hanks? I'm like, because that's who was in the Da Vinci Code. He goes, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I don't know.
who do you think it was? And he goes, oh, it's that guy from that Netflix show. And he had some accusations against him. He got kicked off the show. I go, Rafa, are you thinking that Kevin Spacey? There goes my alarm.
That's fine. We gotta cut it off there. Cut it at Kevin
I was
Spacey.
like, are you thinking that Kevin Spacey was in the Da Vinci Code? He's like, yeah, that's who it was.
I want to be mad, except I definitely thought for a half second that it was Nick Cage. Because I guess the National Treasure thing, but also
that
like we talked
sense.
about Left Behind not that long ago.
Yes. Well, I think that Tom Hanks.
Vibe, yeah.
Tom Hanks is acting like Nicolas Cage in that show.
In that movie, yeah,
in that
he's just like
movie, yeah.
freaking out about stuff and like
Yes.
trying to solve things. No, I can get that.
But it's an ongoing joke in my house because every time somebody pops up on the screen in the past, he said it's Tom Hanks. So this time that
so
it
now
actually
it's
was
actually
Tom Hanks, he said it was Kevin
He
Spacey.
just kept his guess consistent.
Oh
He
my
would have been
gosh.
fine.
He cracks me up with that stuff.
You know, Taylor, one of the old directors here, used to mix up people all the time. She definitely thought that Tom Cruise was Tom Hanks for a while.
I feel like they've got a height difference of like.
I don't even think they're in the same kinds of movies, but we just talked
No,
about
they're
some movie
not.
and she was picturing, I don't remember, I think she was picturing Tom Hanks the whole time instead of Tom Cruise. And
I
it
feel
was
like
a confusing conversation.
Tom Hanks is like a grade A guy. Like he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. I don't know.
Makes good Mission Impossible movies.
He does.
That's
He's a
it.
good actor, and he can do all those stunts because he's like this tall. Okay, and then last and not least, and I know you have a question of the day too, or do you?
Do I? I don't know if I do.
Is this study, and I lost all my papers. So
yeah.
this says, well-fed or fed up? Americans are making some bold choices when it comes to dining out. Taking a look at the new trends and why kids' meals are making adults happy.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
News Nation invites you to the fastest growing tourist destination in the world, Qatar. Join us on the adventure of a lifetime. Destination Qatar, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on News Nation.
So pretty much the newest consumer price index shows food away from home, so you're not cooking it, rose 4% year over year this past August. So we're paying more to go eat out. A full-service restaurant price increases far outpaced overall inflation. So even more. So many customers are downsizing. Instead of just not going out and cooking more, they're instead ordering off the kids menu. This new survey found of 1,000 diners found in the U.S. found almost half of adults, 44%, are ordering off the kids menu. I thought they had, like, you can't order off the kids menu. It says it on the menu.
I think you can.
12 and
Bailey.
under.
Bailey, I have terrible news. You absolutely can.
Would you go to this place and do this? I just don't think I could.
I don't think of it as that much cheaper. I don't know. Bailey, I'll tell you what I've done, and you can be mad about it in your own time. I've definitely gone to a place that had a bunch of like really fancy food, and I've maybe tried some of it, or I've been there before and it wasn't a good time. So I'll just order chicken strips off their kids'
You're
menu.
one of those.
I don't do it because it's cheaper. I just do it because it's comfortable. And then people get mad at me.
You should just go to Wendy's then. Don't even go to the restaurant.
Wow.
You're not. You
fun
don't
guys
deserve
at the
to.
restaurant. I'll be at Wendy's.
It's like going to a Mexican restaurant and ordering a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's exactly like that because it's basically that.
But you know, as you were saying that, I just realized. So I won't go to the restaurant and order that because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah,
and
you have shame.
I'm ashamed about it. But we have been ordering DoorDash lately, and like 2 or 3 times I have ordered from the kids menu if it's DoorDash at or if it's a fast food like Freddy's.
Lock her up.
I know, but like Freddy's, you can get like a small shake,
little shake, yeah.
the fry, and
it's
the
a smaller
burger,
portion size, yeah,
and it's so much cheaper, and it's everything I want.
I've never thought of it as like that much cheaper. Partly because when I think of kids' food, I think of like a Happy Meal, and do you remember when they did the adult Happy Meals? I don't know why.
I kind of.
I don't know why the toys are biblically accurate, but they are. It was a fun little like thing. They each have like 4 eyes.
Yeah, why do they?
A bunch of arms. It's
like
weird.
Play-Doh
I don't know.
Or something.
I didn't get that toy, but they did a couple of these and they were fun and it brought back that
I would do that if it was like a promotion
nostalgia,
or
but
something.
It was not cheaper. It was more expensive. It comes with a toy.
They also
that's
say
clearly not what this is talking about.
That this is. I don't know where you got that picture. I'm getting scared by it. It says this is part of a broader trend of changing dining habits, including nearly 1/3 of customers walking out over long waits. I've done that. I've done that a lot. I haven't like made a scene, but I've just like left.
If I go out to eat, I probably want it to be fast.
Yeah, I mean, I've sat down at a restaurant like here in Springfield, and they literally didn't come for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to even ask for like we're sitting down. We've already been sat. Then I'll just get up and leave. I'm not. I mean, they're not even gonna know.
Yeah,
they didn't even know I was sitting there.
They don't know, and they're like, "Oh, thank goodness, we don't have to serve that person."
But I probably wouldn't hold them against them. I would go back. No, but then this says 40% of people say rude service would keep them from returning. I try not to hold that against the restaurant though, because that person could have been fired the next day. You know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Gotta be nice.
I've noticed the intricacies of ordering from like a drive-through or whatever. There's been a trend recently where I feel like I've ordered something, I've gotten through the whole back and forth, and then they get to the end and they I say thank you, and they go you're welcome. I'm always
yeah, they never
surprised
really
by that.
They never hit you back with the you're welcome.
They never.
I'm already.
And maybe I go to Chick-fil-A too much because they say
my pleasure,
and I'm not telling you that I love that. It's less jarring.
It is less jarring than you're welcome. Half the time,
that's not rude
I'm like halfway around to the pickup line, and I'm just like yelling "thank you" like out the back of my
shoulder.
Because like they're giving me the total. I'm like, I'm gone. I don't care what the total is. I'm already here. And then they said the last thing, one trend on the rise: solo dining. 55% of people eating alone by choice.
Wow.
Would you go sit down by yourself?
Sit down restaurant now.
No. The only place I've done that at multiple times, especially in Springfield, is Steak and Shake.
Oh,
because you can sit at the bar.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I get a lot of food.
Yeah, I've gotten comfortable. I used to not go to movies by myself, but I'll do that now.
I definitely went to the movies by myself.
It used to be a thing where like I had people around me that had similar interest in movies, and now I have less of that. But
I don't know if I would. Well, yeah, I would. Like I used to be here over Christmas break working, and then I would have an afternoon off, but I wouldn't have any friends in town because they're all home for Christmas break.
Go to the movies.
So I went to the movies by myself.
But I don't think I've ever really gone to I think I would, yeah, order some drive-through something or pick it up or whatever. There's a lot of options before sit down in a restaurant and eat by yourself. But I
That's
totally
true.
get
There's
if
a million other things you could do alone. Then, yeah, you
Well,
could
yeah,
do that in the
and-
comfort of your own apartment.
Yeah, and I guess just that I wouldn't judge it if you do it. And also, I think there are probably restaurants, especially like kind of more specialty places that you can't really do other things, or they have such a nice environment that that's part of it, so you want to do that.
Yeah, and like I
get
mean,
it.
if you're like a business, if it's like one of those places like Hula Hands where it's like connected to a hotel or
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
you know. But it makes me very sad to see that.
Aw.
I almost would start crying seeing somebody of a little bit older age sitting at a restaurant by themselves. I would just
my mom
my
couldn't
heart would
believe
break.
my mom couldn't believe that I would go to the dining hall alone. She thought that was crazy in college, and I was like, I like everybody's in class. What do you mean? I just
I don't
just
know.
go
I
by
can't
myself.
remember
Did you
ever doing
not?
that.
You never went to the dining hall alone. Wow, that's what being a sorority's like.
But I was in a sorority, so yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not like, I had people that I would see people at the dining hall that I knew and I'd go sit by them maybe, or like somebody would join me later or something, or I was talking to somebody, texting somebody as I was
Well,
eating.
that's true.
But,
I
like,
mean, and nowadays, I mean, you can
there's
do
other
anything
ways
on
to
your
connect,
phone.
yeah.
You don't look sad when you're sitting there
No.
watching something on your phone with AirPods in and eating, you know,
Yeah.
like that wouldn't make me cry.
I think if I went every day alone somewhere, I might get sad. But yeah,
Yeah.
try to find some time to spend with people.
And now I am hungry.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a question of the day?
Nope.
Or should we just end it?
We should just end it.
Okay, let's just end it. It's a Friday, free day of question of the day. All right. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Shy, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
And now to more stories making headlines this Friday morning, including a blow to President Trump's redistricting efforts in Indiana. So the state Senate there failed to pass a redrawn congressional map, which would have given Republicans up to 2 more seats in the House. 21 Republicans in the GOP-led Indiana Senate joined Democrats in voting